Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fantasy Tip Show. FPL Gameweek 27 is here. The game weeks keep coming thick and fast. And, earlier on, FPL Graduates had a show on, and, they had special guests on, and they didn't have time to answer some questions, including mine. So what do you do when another show doesn't have time to answer your questions? You get your own damn show. That's what you do. You get your own show, and you answer for yourself the questions. So back with me again, Ben. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, sorry we couldn't answer any questions. I mean, it was a busy one, wasn't it? We had two guests on. We were running into the 45, 50-minute bracket, so hopefully you can answer some questions in this one.
Yeah, and obviously, Josh, how are you?
Yeah, always good, man. Hope you're doing well.
And Josh, that is not the last time you're going to hear that name today, believe me. And if you know what I mean. And Ben, I always imagine you're the same guy on Twitter who always has the fixtures and stuff. Are you the guy in disguise, maybe? He's called Ben who? That guy?
Ben Crellin.
Are you him? I always imagine maybe you're him just using a different name or something. But yeah, we'll be reviewing Game Week 26 and previewing Game Week 27 as usual. We had to do it at this time. I have another Arsenal show in like a couple of hours, so it keeps it like 40 minutes or something. So Game Week 27, I'll start with Ben's team. How did you do in Game Week 26?
Not too bad, but I expected like 40 more points than I actually got, and I think a lot of people did as well. 82 for the week. It's a small rank climb, I think. It's up at 10, 15, 20,000 maybe. In goal, Areola, he got a clean sheet, which I predicted. He'd get that clean sheet in the first game. And the second game, I was expecting him to get save points, and he was one save off getting the save points, which is a bit unlucky. Ruben Diaz, again, a goal from him. I mean, if they kept a clean sheet, it would have been so much better, but they didn't in the end. Cancelo, 2 points is really frustrating out of a double game week. He has such a high ceiling and just didn't produce this week. He, conceded a goal. He looked good in the game that he was playing, and he was on 3 bonus points for a while in that Wolves game. Matt Target in defence as my cover for Martinez did the job that I needed him to do. Midfield was a strange one. Triple captains Bruno Fernandes for 18 points. Now, in my eyes, it's probably a dub because that is, 15 more points than I got last season from my triple captain. So we'll move from that. Salah, disappointing again. Liverpool kind of lacking that cutting edge that they need right now. Son, 14 points. Can't complain about that. In hindsight, you think the better fixtures should have captained him, but even against Fulham, they didn't look too great. Gundogan with a lucky 6-pointer in the last minute of the game. And Josh Maja with a 11-pointer in my eyes. He should have got 15, 20 points, in my opinion, this week. Guaita, if he didn't turn into Superman, Maja's getting 2 goals there. And if that goal stood, then, we'd be on for another goal and 3 bonus points. The Premier League have, in fact, changed the rulings of the handball laws to mean that Maja's goal should have stood, basically. Calvert-Lewin 4-pointer, a bit disappointing as well, leading to a pretty respectable 82. Expected more. It should really be 95 with Maja and pushing towards that 100 barrier, but, the Premier League, their rulings meant that Maja couldn't get that points for me and rob me,
Blah, 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 blah. So if you Google on Chrome, if you go on Chrome and you search for the word fraud, it's written wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. The second meaning is a person or thing intended to deceive others, typically by unjustifiably claiming or being credited with accomplishments or qualities. For example,
so you can define whoever made that rule of handball is the fraud because he changed it, and he's definitely not got Maja in his FPL team.
According to the example, it's written Josh Maja. That's one of the examples of a fraud. It's on Google right now. It's on Google. So as expected, I wish you could bring on Josh Maja's stats this season since you brought him in. I think it's 2 points, 1 point, 2 points. Yeah, so typical fraud. So the rest of your team, though.
His expected goals is higher than Kane's for this double game week.
Yeah, believe me, it even hurts me even more that goal, like, because it's Tottenham, they're winning and you need to get past them and stuff. So that was definitely a goal, but I kind of agree with it. As long as it's come off your arm and it's kind of helped with the goal, I kind of agree with it. And also because Josh has Maja and Ben has Maja. Josh, never have Maja, please. Never do it. So you had a total of 80 what?
82.
Yeah, I think it's a... what was your target at the start of the week?
120.
120. Wow. Okay. So I guess, Josh, what did you make of his team?
Yeah, he had a decent week. Obviously, a few things for everyone, I think, this week could have gone a lot different. A lot of unexpected things happening. Not a usual game week. It was a game week of defence rather than attack, I think we saw this week. And I think only Son was a real premium who actually managed to get a double-digit haul. The rest, other than Kane, didn't even return anything. So, yeah, it was a bit disappointing from everyone, I think.
Okay, but yeah, you still have a couple of chips, I know, Ben. So as long as the others work, I have 0 chips right now. I think I have the bench boost still, but I don't know where I'm going to use it because my bench anyway is not good. The next team we're going to do, which team are you doing next, Josh?
Mine. You can do mine next.
Awesome.
I think that's the one I've got up. Yeah, so here we go. 85 points for me. I'll just run through it very quick. Took a -4, so 81 overall. Emi Martinez, biggest W of the wild card, without a doubt. He just absolute points magnet, 12-pointer in net. El Mohammadi getting that clean sheet as well in the first game. I'll take that all day long. Luke Shaw with a 12-pointer, 2 clean sheets. Definitely should have had an attack and return against Palace if anyone could actually shoot the ball. So a bit unlucky with him. He should have probably got a lot more than that. And I don't know how he misses out on bonus in the Palace game when literally every other United defender got one. So stupid decisions, but we move. Cancelo, again, unlucky. Some reason when Stones doesn't play, they seem to concede a lot. So he's not getting any points for me this week. Bruno Fernandes, captain, a letdown. Am I selling him? No. He'll come good. He's Bruno Fernandes. He's proven it for a year now that he almost single-handedly carries that United's team. Bernardo Silva was my punt going into this week. I thought he looked quite lively against Wolves. Mare seemed to take a lot of the FPL sort of returns though, because they both played on the same side. So bit annoying, but I don't see Mahrez playing both of the games coming up anyway. Mo Salah is on fraud watch, as we've been saying. He's probably, I don't think he'll come out of my team this week, but next week, if he's not going to even really get 2 goals or 2 attack and returns, he's going to be getting gone because he's 12.5 million and I can't afford to have that just getting me 7 pointers every week. I could get that out of probably like Lookman or someone stupid like that. Gundogan, his late assist doesn't really mean anything for the rank, but it's just nice to see him ticking over really nicely. Bamford didn't do anything against Villa. Calvert-Lewin's a big disappointment this week. I think I took a hit for him going into this game week. Took Danny Ings out. Obviously, Danny Ings didn't do anything, but neither did DCL, and that's really annoying. Harry Kane scored a goal, unlike Josh Maja, and also probably could have scored more goals, just like Josh Maja. So not too fussed about that. Again, he returned at the end of the day, so I'm not too bothered. Areola, decent points on the bench. Obviously, playing my bench boost this week. And then White, Struijk, and Rafinha didn't really do much. That West Brom game really screwed me over. I weren't expecting too much from the Leeds boys, but I was expecting a clean sheet from Brighton. So not ideal, but I think I'll take it given I only got 2 attacking returns this game week.
You know, it's only Bruno Fernandes that you could own and you're still screaming for a blank when you haven't captained him, because literally everyone has him captain, including Ben has him triple captain. So I was really praying that he doesn't score, because literally everyone, like at least half of the people in the mini leagues have him as captain. So I was really hoping, especially after Kane disappointed. Kane should have had like 4 goals or something, but we'll come to Tottenham later on. So Ben, what do you make of his team as Josh brings up mine?
Yeah, good team. You can't complain about it. El Mohammadi's a good budget pick, but I mean, me and Josh have both been complaining about how bad he actually is as a player in real life. Yeah, it's set up nicely for the blank game week, especially is what I'm looking at, and yeah, I think there's importance maybe even more importance in that blank game week than the double just gone, to be honest. Because if you can field a full 11 with a good captain, then you're onto a winner.
Okay, so it's time, Josh, right? It's time.
It is indeed.
It is time for the greatness, It's time for the greatness. You can see those points, but I was very disappointed. I was really, really disappointed because this is a week I was hoping that I could go climb up more in the mini leagues, because in the last few weeks I've been all over the place, especially using the triple captain, Sterling disappointing and all that. I was starting to give up. So I was hoping for better this week, especially when I saw not many people had Kane in the mini leagues and people are still captain Bruno Fernandes, Salah, and they were blanking. So for my team in goal, obviously Areola, everyone has him these days. He doesn't get save points, surprisingly. Did he even have any save points this week? I don't think so.
No,
it's all over the place. Stones played the first game, disappointed he didn't play the second one, but he didn't keep any clean sheet. I was screaming for City to concede against Wolves when I saw he wasn't in the starting lineup. Michael Keane, I knew he would come good for me one day. He should have had a goal. He had a goal disallowed. Michael Keane. So that could have been 28 or something. He got 2 bonus points in the second game and 3 in the first one. I was really tempted to captain him in the first on Friday, last Friday, was it? Yeah, Friday. But I was like, nah. Like Ben said on your show, I was telling myself, Glenn, don't be stupid. Don't captain Michael Keane. But I should have. I'm sure, definitely, you should have told me to bring this guy early on, man. Josh, this guy's incredible. You guys keep a lot of clean sheets. Fernandes disappointing, but I was okay with that. Sterling, surely Sterling again. 90 minutes, they get 4 goals, and he doesn't get even an assist. Very, very disappointing. This is the 4th week he's doing this. He should have had a hat-trick. One of the on goals was taken right from his foot. Anguissa, 4 points I was happy with, especially that he didn't start the second game. Son, again, should have had more goals. Burnley, the game against Burnley, should have had more goals. And Kane, I don't know if you saw it, Josh. Kane had 3 chances against Fulham, and he had another 3 against Burnley. Open goals, and he missed all of them. Bamford, disappointing, proving Ben right. And then Richarlison, the baller. I've owned him for 4 weeks. He scored 4 goals against Liverpool, against City, against Southampton, against Everton. I'm very, very happy with that. 17 points. I was also tempted to captain him, but I just decided to go for Kane. Obviously, Saka was in the squad, but Anguissa came on for him as an auto sub, and then Webster and Kufal still looking to drop them. So I was very happy with that, especially the fact that Kane should have had an extra goal. Sterling should have had 3. Richarlison should have had 3. So I was happy with that.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice week for you. It's the Everton boys really that separates you from the rest. Richarlison that's really good right now. He almost seems to be replacing DCL in that sort of striker position. And then Michael Keane. I think any of those Everton defenders, they've done really, really well this week.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. So Ben, the game week 27 fixtures.
Here they are for 27. Burnley against Arsenal. So your team, Glenn, starting us off the weekend, followed by Sheffield United, Southampton, Villa, Wolves, and Brighton, Leicester, and then Sunday as well. All the bigger teams are playing. West Brom, Newcastle, Liverpool, Fulham, City, United, Spurs, and Palace. Then on the Monday we got the Chelsea Everton game. West Ham, Leeds, and then the Wednesday is that double game week fixture. It's the City as they play Southampton at home.
Josh, are you tempted to triple up on City again this week?
Yeah, I already have triple up. Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, and Cancelo, they will just stay on my team. No reason to take them out. I sort of given into the fact of playing Pep Roulette. They're going to play 1 game if they're playing 2. So I'm not really too bothered. It's not as deep when there's double game week fixtures because you're going to get that player playing in at least one of them. Pep seems to make 6 to 7 changes pretty much every game week. So I'm not too bothered with that. I think Bernardo Silva is going to maybe get some returns this week. I've got high hopes for him in that derby. He seems to always score against us in the derby. So hopefully he does that, and hopefully he doesn't at the same time.
Yeah, I know Ben is kind of disrespecting the early fixture, but surprisingly, Burnley are always thought to be this team that don't concede goals, but this season especially, they do concede a bunch of them. They conceded 4 to Tottenham last week, and this week they're facing a formidable Arsenal team that had Aubameyang and Saka resting. That is the only thing that is giving me hopes. The two of them rested last week, and they're definitely going to start. So I'm very tempted to captain Saka this week. Very, very tempted. But I'm waiting to see their team news. Aubameyang has also scored 4 goals against Burnley in the last 2 years, home and away. So I'm happy with that as well. I'm not bringing in Aubameyang because I don't have the funds, but yeah, as I'm looking at Josh Maja's goal on screen right now, Ben, very, very good goal. I apologize. So yeah, I'm really looking at that Arsenal fixture. Also, Villa against Wolves, derby game. If Grealish was there's a good option, but I'm really tipping Neto as well in that game. So good fixtures. So let's get into the FPL focus for this week. It's not every day you get an FPL focus on Tottenham on an Arsenal channel. It's not every day you get to focus on Tottenham on an Arsenal channel, but yeah, that's the focus. They've won 2 games in a row, beat the Fulham one was very, very pretty lucky. They beat Burnley last week 4-0. They beat Fulham 1-0. So clean sheets, scoring goals, a couple of players have re-emerged again. So which players are we getting from Tottenham? Ben, I'll start with you. The first player you're going to talk about is Kane. Is he still a good option going forward?
Yeah, I do think he is definitely a good option. Was unlucky not to score more points, but thankfully for my rank and my sake, he didn't score as many as maybe some people anticipated. Yeah, he seems to be under Mourinho shooting a lot more frequently over the last few weeks, which if you do the maths, more shots equals the potential of more goals. So definitely a good option up front. He's a bit more of a premium asset. So if you're happy and willing to drop one of like Salah or someone like that, I think definitely one to consider. And if I was on a wild card, he'd probably be the first name I'd get in.
Josh, are you keeping him?
Yeah, 100%. Like, if he gets that many chances, he's going to end up scoring all of them in the end of the day. He's known for being prolific. Haven't seen many assists from him recently, which is interesting because obviously he seems to be playing a little bit deeper when they start the attack. With Bale in the team, it was a little bit worrying against Burnley because he seemed to be the one getting that pass to assist, which is quite annoying. But I don't think he's a bad asset whatsoever. I think he's probably still the best Spurs asset to own over anyone else. I think he's just, with Son assisting and obviously then grabbing the bonus as well with that, it looks way worse than what it actually was.
Yeah, the next 5 fixtures, Crystal Palace at home, a team that has been doing very, very poorly, but United couldn't get the better of them. They have Arsenal away. It's standard. Arsenal away, although Kane has scored like 11 goals against us, so you can tip him to score in that as well. Aston Villa away, Newcastle away. They have United at home again. United, they beat you guys by 6 goals, and he had a cracking game last year when they played you at Old Trafford. So some fixtures you can see him scoring as well. So 11.1 price right now, owned by 33%. So it's going into that level of if you don't own him and he scores, you're in big trouble. So that is Kane. Yes, for him. The next one, Ben, is Reguilon.
Yeah, I mean, I owned Reguilon for maybe 1 or 2 weeks of this season so far, and I really did enjoy using him and having him in my team. Going forwards, attacking wise, he's always a threat. His crossing is some of the best in the Premier League, and the only reservation and concern you have with him is his level of fitness and keeping him out of the injury room, because he has come up with a couple of injuries recently, and Spurs do concede goals. They don't look defensively solid like a Mourinho team normally does, and that's the only reservation I'd have. Might be a little bit too expensive for the points you're probably getting. I imagine there are a couple of other options that you'd look to go towards, but if you're looking for some Tottenham coverage, yeah, definitely an option.
Josh?
Yeah, I agree. I think, especially with the next 5 fixtures, as you mentioned, I think he's probably a must-own maybe going into that with game week 29, especially him playing in that. I'm unsure if he plays in 33 when people blank again, but I think he's definitely really good. I'd say other than Bale, Son, and Harry Kane, as we mentioned, he's probably the next best attacking option in that team. So definitely getting some points going forward. And if he picks up a attack and return like he did against Burnley, he gets into the bonus as well. So really nice asset to own, Regulon.
I agree with that. Shiv asks Josh, did Chelsea have a game in Game Week 29?
No, I don't think so. There's only 4 games. The main teams being Spurs, Villa, Arsenal, Leeds, Brighton, Newcastle, and then 2 others. I'm not sure of the others.
So Ben, for Regulon, is that a no?
I'm going to say no because he's just a bit too expensive for a player that you just know is going to concede goals.
Okay, and Josh, no?
I'm saying yes, just because of the fixtures they've got coming up, and also you've got a lot of budget to spare realistically, with none of the premiums really being that good going forward right now, like the likes of Salah and even people taking out Bruno. So I'd say yes.
The rotation in the Europa League really scares me, so I'd probably say no. I'll start with you on the next one, Josh. Son missed so many chances. I know you've said Kane about assisting. He did have some 2 good crosses for Son in the Burnley game, and he missed all of them.
Yeah, it was weird to see, because I feel like on a different day, we're probably not going to be speaking about Gareth Bale as much as we have been in this past week. That Son and Kane seemed to miss a plethora of chances in that Burnley game. Easily could have been probably 7 or 8-0. And then obviously in the Fulham game, we saw Kane miss more chances than Son. So it was interesting to see, to be fair. I think Son's always got that assist ability. When I had him before in the season over Kane, that's what I always relied on for him to get points. He's a corner taker. So I had numerous assists through that. So I think he's probably... I don't know if he's the most owned one over Kane. I think you need both though going forward. I think both of those guys are going to pick up some serious points, and like the start of the season, we're going to rely on Spurs a lot more.
Okay, and then Ben, Son?
I think potentially up there, and potentially even better as an asset than Harry Kane, just because he's picking up extra points from the midfield for his attacking contributions. He's very much a form-based player, though. If he's in form, he will return loads and be super explosive. But if he's not, he will go missing in the game. I think that's the difference between Son and Kane. Even if Kane's out of form as such, you could always think, hang on, he could get a goal in this game out of nowhere. Whereas Son, you think if he's out of a game and a bit anonymous, he's not going to get the return. So... definitely, if Son's in form, he's a better asset than Kane. But out of form, you'd say Kane's a better asset to own.
Okay, Ray has arrived in the chat. Why, Lord, why? Anyway, let's go into. I'll make sure I ban the word Diaz in the comment section. Josh, there's 2 players that have emerged from nowhere, and they're actually scoring goals and giving assists. So are you interested in any of those guys on screen right now? Dele Alli and Gareth Bale.
I think Gareth Bale has turned a few heads, definitely. If he can keep up the amount of minutes he's playing in terms of in the Premier League, and maybe he gets rested in Europa League, I think he's probably one of the better assets to own in terms of the whole game. Gareth Bale was one of the best players in the world at one stage, and I think he still has that quality in him. It's just whether he needs to get up to match fitness to actually prove that again. Dele Alli, on the other hand, I think it's a definite wait and see. He obviously probably should have got the goal yesterday. It was a bit dubious. Apparently, it was going off target. So whether he plays all the games in the Premier League is very questionable for Dele Alli. I do like him as a player, though. I think he's very talented. But yeah, I think Gareth Bale was an interesting one. I think if I didn't own Son, or if I wasn't going to own Son, I think Gareth Bale would be right in there.
Okay, and then Ben, are you interested in any of them?
I'm not, unfortunately, in either of them, to be completely honest with you. I think at this current moment in time, it's definitely a hype train we're seeing about Gareth Bale. Let's not forget his price. He is he more 0.1 million more expensive than Son at the moment?
He's around that price.
He's around the same price as Son, and I'd much rather have Son in my team than Gareth Bale, because Son's more likely to play more games. He's more likely to get returns, and I'd rather spend my money elsewhere on a different team. I think if you're gonna have Kane and Son, I don't think you can really push the budget to get another Spurs player in. I think you need to spread your budget around different teams and not become so reliant on Spurs assets, because we've seen before, as good as they can look in one game against Burnley, they can look really shaky in the game against Fulham, which I think showed in that double game week.
Yeah, so Ben, in the next those 4 or 5 fixtures coming up, how many Tottenham assets will you be owning, since you have still a couple of chips to go?
I'll be owning 1 for this coming game week, 2 next game week, and it won't be more than 2 going forwards.
Okay, how about you, Josh?
It'll be definitely 2. Questionable about 3. It depends what I do going forward. I think Son will definitely become part of my team, but maybe a Reguilon or a defensive asset could come in for that Villa game.
Okay, defensive asset. It's only really Reguilon. I remember you guys had Dye, and I still couldn't believe you had Dye at the start of the season. You're really hyping him up. I remember watching episode 1 of FPL Fridays, and you're talking about Dye. I was like, these guys really know what they're talking about, or this new YouTube guys who don't know what the hell they're saying. But yeah, I came to learn that they're very, very good professionals at FPL. But Dyer pick, nah. So the next thing you're going to cover is the captain picks. Josh, game week 27. Who are you captaining?
Currently, it's looking like Ilkay Gundogan. I don't really like the look of anyone as a captain pick this week. Like, I think everyone looks a bit sus in terms of, I feel like they could blank or not play in one of their fixtures. My vice is on Kane. My captaincy was on Kane before the Fulham game. Or before the Crystal Palace facing Man United. I just don't really know who to go for, to be honest. I think Gundogan's the safe option because a lot of people will captain him, but whether he gets returns or not, or whether he plays in both games as well, it's going to be a big question mark over him, because if he plays in United and he doesn't play Southampton, you've basically just captained Gundogan against Man United, and I don't think that's a very good captaincy option, because I don't think there's going to be a serious amount of goals in there. So yeah. I'm very torn right now. I haven't really decided myself.
What subs are you looking to make this week, or have you made one?
I haven't actually made a transfer. I'm not sure if I will. If it is anyone, it will be Salah who will be making way, because I've had enough of him, to be honest.
I've not owned that guy for like 15 weeks straight, and I'm very happy with that. Ben, captaincy picks? Surely not. Please don't say it.
You don't even know what I'm going to say yet, Glenn.
I know.
Twitter knows.
Twitter knows.
I am all aboard the DS train. That's what I'm going for this week.
Surprise.
I have been contemplating Gundogan or DS, just flipping between the two, and I've decided, you know what? Who cares if he doesn't play in one of the games? You know, I think he's going to get a clean sheet. I've looked at the stats. The only time that he's not played 90 minutes is when he's been injured for Man City. Simple as that. He's played every other Premier League game for him. So I'm confident that he will play definitely a part in one of the games. And I'm confident City are going to keep 2 clean sheets this week. So going for the safe option probably. And Ray, I hope you're going to join me on this one, because it'd be rude of you not to.
I mean, if you look at this, Josh, you have to say that Ray and Ben are also the same person, not just Ben, the guy from Twitter. This guy could also be Ben over here. Ray, also saying torn between Gundogan and Diaz. Have you captaining defenders really, Josh? I know you don't like it.
I'm not a massive fan, but I think this week, if I had Diaz, I'd definitely consider it. It's easy points, and it's one of those safer bets, like I mentioned with Gundogan, than risking it. Like for me personally, I've had like just over a 50% ratio with captaincy picks this year. So that's probably one area that I need to improve on if I want to gain my rank up. Is just picking a safer captain instead of picking those outrageous, and instead of picking the high ceiling, pick the low floor. I think that's what I'll be doing going forward.
So the only game week players I have this week are Stones and this guy, the most frustrating player I've ever owned the last 4 years in FPL, Raheem Sterling. The thing is with the double game weeks, at least you do know he'll not sit on the bench for both. He'll definitely play one. So you're hoping he gets a goal in one of them. Because if it's one fixture and then he gets benched, then you're hoping for your vice. But since it's two fixtures, I'm hoping he plays one. And I still think I'm going to put the captaincy on him because I'm not sure about Stones because I feel like United will score. And anyway, City have conceded in the last two games anyway. And West Ham should have had more, to be fair. Traore should have scored for Wolves in that game. So yeah, maybe it's because they were missing Stones on the pitch that day, but I think they'll concede against United. Maybe even a penalty, maybe a red card for Ruben Diaz. Maybe I would love that. I'd absolutely love that. After the 90th minute, after the 90th minute, by the way, Josh, after you've already lost the game, that would be very, very good. So I'm really thinking Sterling and Stones maybe, but also Son against Crystal Palace at home. Maybe I could decide to go for that. So differential picks, Ben. Who's your differential for the week?
Talk over the same one that I said earlier. I'm gonna go for it because I actually do think he's gonna do well this week. I'm gonna go for Diogo Jota of Liverpool. 2.5% owned this week. Came on as a sub against Chelsea, and he looked quite lively. And I think in Liverpool's team, they need to change the system again. And where they've had the most success this season is playing Jota in a number 10 role, which is exactly what they are missing right now. Their pressing game isn't working because they don't have the players to do that at the moment. So I think they're going to need to change the system. With Jota being fit, they can now do that, and they can have a bit more creativity going forwards and be able to break down teams a bit easier. So I think Jota as a differential for this week is going to be a great shout.
Okay, I'm sure Shiv would be happy with that in the chat. The Liverpool fan. Josh, how about you?
I am going to be different to my earlier pick. Same team, though. I'm going to go with Mbaye Diagne, the striker for West Brom. £6 million, 0.7% owned. He has Newcastle at home in their next game, West Brom. I think everyone just needs to target Newcastle as a team to get at going forward. They have so many injuries in that team. Same with Leicester, that they're always going to concede goals because they won't be able to attack. They've got no Almiron, no St. Maximan, no Callum Wilson. I really don't see any attacking input from them with Joel Linton and maybe Ryan Fraser if he's fit up front. So yeah, I'll go with Diagne for that one.
He misses a lot of chances. I remember when he played against you guys a couple of weeks ago, and he missed so many chances. I'm hating his blue hair, by the way. Absolutely terrible, that hairstyle. I absolutely hate it. Maybe he's not even scored a goal since, so I'm not loving it. So I think he'll get a goal against Newcastle. That is a good option. I think, Ben, are you right? Jota won't play 90 minutes?
No, I think he needs to play him. I think he needs a result from somewhere and has to play the attacking players against Fulham. Simple as.
Okay, so my differential of the week, I don't even know how the percentage that owns him right now, but let me just check how much how it's going to be Aubameyang. It's going to be Aubameyang. Let me just check his 6.9.
Yeah, I was going to say he's like 6% owned.
6% owned. That is my differential for the week. He rested last week. We've had a 1 week break. Yes, we have Europa League on Thursday, but he'll definitely play and he'll definitely score. The last time he played at Burnley, he scored 2 goals. He didn't play there last season because he was suspended. The previous season, he clinched his golden boot in that stadium. So I can see another double for him in this game. I'm hoping the assists come from Saka, who I own in my team. So Aubameyang is my differential. I'd love it if he does it. I'd absolutely love it. So great. Let's take a couple of questions from the chat before we end it. Obviously, we've answered your question, Dre, because Ben is loving Gundogan and Diaz. Let me see. Josh, I'll give you this one first. Lingard from Casual. Lingard for Grealish.
Interesting, because obviously they both play 29. Grealish, I think, should be back this weekend. I'm not too sure on his fitness. If he is, that's a good thing. Lingard doesn't play next game week 28 because he's on loan from Man United, and they have Man United. So it all depends whether you can afford to bench Lingard for next week. So make sure you check out, obviously, their fixtures going forward. Personally, I think Jack Grealish is one of the best players in the Premier League, so I probably wouldn't take him out if he's fit. I think I'd keep Grealish.
Okay, Ben Star asks who to transfer in for Barnes, Saka, Lingard, or Traore from Villa.
Says he only needs them till game week 31.
Mm.
I'd probably go for Saka out of those lot. I like Lingard as an asset probably more, but you think if he's going to miss that Man United game, he might not come out with as many points after that period of time that you're looking to bring these players in for. So I think Saka is a good option. He looks in form at the moment. He looks confident. So why not?
Okay, then Josh Shiv asks, would you rather play? Wait, let me see. Would you like? Basically, it's not a question, but would you rather get a player right now who's playing in game week 29?
Yeah, that's definitely within my thoughts. I probably wouldn't bring in anyone who isn't playing in 29 right now, because I think since the double game week was so disappointing, I think this blank game week is where a lot of people can pick up points now. I think a lot of people have probably written off the 29 blank game week, and from the teams that I've been seeing anyway, it's not necessarily a full 11. And I think me and Ben are in a good shape to get that full 11 pretty much set in stone. I think Aubameyang is in my thoughts, definitely. He's obviously Arsenal's talisman. He gets goals. I think it's an easy swap out for Salah as well. I think it's just a question for me with him not playing against Leicester. Why is he being rested? Like it's the middle of the season. He should be playing. He should be fit enough to play those games. So have to wait and see if obviously Europa League is going to dictate what happens as well.
We are good. We are good, Josh. We have enough players. Aubameyang doesn't have to play. I can see asks Aubameyang in game week 29 for Salah. Definitely, yes. But for that one, I'd kind of try and wait because Europa League run, you never know like when he's going to be rested and stuff, because the likes of Martinelli are emerging right now. So it's going to be very interesting. Points target for this week, Ben, and 3 players will definitely score.
My points target for this week is going to be probably it's difficult to say because you don't know what the average is going to be. 70 points for this week, the target. Just another consistent week.
Yeah. For me, I'm not too sure. I'm not really that confident in my team going into this week, if I'm honest. I've got a few dodgy fixtures in there. If I can hit average, I'll probably be happy. If I get any sort of green arrow, I'll take that very happily this week.
Okay, and then 3 players will definitely score, Ben.
I'm gonna go for players to score. Michel Antonio, Rafinha, and we'll go for Danny Ings.
Danny Ings, okay, and Josh.
I'm gonna go Aaron Cresswell. I'm gonna go Diagne. And I'm going to go Bruno Fernandes.
Wow. Cresswell, that would be interesting. I can see a free kick in that game, though. I can see a lot of goals in that game. I can see it being very open. So I'm actually going to go for Harrison in that game. He was rested in the last game. So he'll start this one and score. So Harrison from Leeds. I'm going to go with Neto from Wolves to score against Aston Villa. And I'm going to go for definitely Sterling to score against you guys, Josh. Sorry. So that's your game week 27 preview. I'll leave the link to FPL Graduates show early on in the description in a couple of minutes. So go and check that out. No show tomorrow morning. We can relax and wait for Arsenal and enjoy Arsenal. Is Reading playing tomorrow, Ben?
Yeah, we're playing against Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow. Big game.
Yes. So are you at home?
Good question. I mean, at this point, does it really matter whether we're home or away?
Yeah.
No, we're at home.
It does for my next compliment. So Reading at home, Burnley at home. Let's hope tomorrow we'll get a couple of away wins for Arsenal and Sheffield Wednesday. I told you it matters, Ben. It matters whether you're home or away. So let's hope we get a couple of away wins tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully Reading will be promoted next, and I would love that so much.
Glenn, can I change my one of my predicted goal scorers? I'd like to swap out Rafinha and put in Matthew Loughton.
That would be very Arsenal to concede to him.
All the best. All the best. All the best. 3-0 in the game against you, Josh, by the way. So thank you for watching. Let's see which differentials scored this week. Thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.